Round of questions. I'll start with Tom. You point out in your testimony that cuts to Arizona's Colorado River supplies taken under the shortage declaration and efforts underway to keep water in the lake. You talk a lot about this. Last year, the Department of Interior provided an assurance that Arizona's conserved water would not be delivered to farmers across the river in California. It's my understanding that DCP has a permanent fix for this so-called system water. If the DCP will not take into effect till next year at the earliest, are we operating once again without DOI assurances?
Chairman Flake, we do not have those assurances in writing. We would like to see that happen this calendar year. The assurances we had last year ran out at the end of 2016. It's imperative that that conserved water stay in the lake. The efforts of Arizona, Nevada, California, and Mexico over the last several years to conserve water in the lake actually avoided shortage in 2015, 2016, and 2017. So it's critical that that water stay in the lake. And the certainty that a commitment in writing from the Department of Interior would give us would allow us to continue to go ahead with confidence that the money we're spending to conserve that water in the lake is going to be well served.
The perception by some is that the drought ended in the West with all the rain and particularly in the Sierra Nevadas. What has the wetter winter that we had in the upper basin, has that changed the equation at all for the Colorado, for the lower basin?
So it has reduced the probabilities that Lake Mead will go into shortage or fall to lower shortage levels in the future. But the wet winter that started kind of petered out in the spring. And between March and June, we lost about 2 million acre-feet out of the runoff projection. So it gave us a brief respite, but there's still more to do. And again, without the water conservation that we've done in Lake Mead, right now, we might even be in shortage in 2018, despite the good winter we had this year.
I was glad to see in your testimony you covered the reuse of reclaimed water, recycling that we have in Arizona. Frequently, we hear about water recycling. It comes... When it's talked about, it comes with a request for the federal government to come in and build a treatment plant for recycling projects. In Arizona, we've seen projects from Tucson to Phoenix to Prescott to treat effluent that do not require federal funds. Can you explain how Arizona state water law treats effluent and how it has created situations where private entities have incentives to invest?
Yes, Chairman Flake, the Palo Verde Nuclear Generation Station effluent contract that I talked about earlier spurred a lawsuit in Arizona, and the Supreme Court in 1989 did rule that treated wastewater is the property of the entity that treats it. That really did incentivize folks for doing reuse, building the plants, building the infrastructure. And I think the certainty that that legal framework created in Arizona certainly has led to Arizona using quite a bit of its water for reuse in the Phoenix metropolitan area, almost 100%, the same in the Tucson area. So we've long been leaders in reuse, and that was one of the key factors that allowed us to achieve that goal.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Markoff, you mentioned you use predictive analytics to better utilize these systems and private investment that you have. Explain that. I think predictive analytics are being used just about everywhere, but explain how they're used here with regard to water.
What we're really talking about is in different areas. One, just looking at the plant operation itself through tools of asset performance management. It's really about improving productivity, improving efficiency, predicting downtimes and taking preemptive measures against it, and basically protect and prolong the asset life of the plant operation. If you look outside of the plant itself, we have large infrastructure, piping infrastructure, pumping infrastructure, and there is a whole slew of different tools to protect pipeline health, to detect leakages, to address non-revenue water, basically, preventing leakages through preemptive maintenance activities, And together with analytical tools and analysis up front, this prediction clearly helps to drive improvements and operating productivity and efficiencies.